It's nice to be here amidst this gathering, sharing my thoughts on what cloud is all about and how or why SMB segment particularly is very keenly following the progress in cloud as a technology. And probably we'll have a discussion at the end of it on how it can actually be practicalized rather than just talking theory on cloud. Any technology, the theory is really fantastic, but how practically one can utilize is what will make sense to all of us. So I'll just give you a brief overview, maybe for what, 15-20 minutes on what has been the trend globally with respect to cloud as a technology, which all industries have imbibed it, what has been the positives, what has been the apprehensions, and what has been the success for those who have some survey output, I mean, in what areas companies have looked for, etc. And lastly, what is it that HCL is doing in this space, what offerings we have, how we can help enterprises and SMBs if they would like to leverage public cloud or private cloud. And to end with some of the success stories that we have already deployed our customers running on our cloud architecture. That's going to be the agenda. Okay. Probably the display may not be very visible at the back. For the benefit of, just give you a snapshot. This gives you the industry-wide adoption of IT spend as a percentage of the total revenue. As you can see, telecom and BPO has been amongst the highest, close to 2% or 1.7%, with retail, transport and logistics, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, BFSI. Though BFSI is pretty much advanced in IT, but their financials are also pretty large, so as a percentage, it may not be very high, but if you see the quantum of IT spend, probably BFSI will be one amongst the top. Automotive, manufacturing and energy in that order. Energy is fast coming up, transport logistics is fast growing, likewise retail. These three are increasing their IT spend as a percentage of turnover as we talk. Some of the key factors why people have been looking for cloud. Just a two-line definition for the benefit of those who still have cloudy understanding about the cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but an old wine in new bottle. Earlier, you had a lot of these ISPs, internet service providers. I'm sure many of us are familiar with Googles and Yahoos and Hotmails from mail messaging perspective. Now, of course, you have this Google Talk, you have Skype for collaborative communication, voice, data, video, etc. All these are nothing but offering on cloud. So, in a simple definition is, if a service provider is offering a service over a public medium like internet and charges the customer on a usage basis. Okay, many of these examples have been on zero charge, whether it's Google Mail or Yahoo Mail or Skype chat with voice or video conferencing. All these have been free because their business model has been different. They wanted to hook customers or consumers coming onto their setup for free, and they generate revenue out of the advertisements that are existing on the pages, web pages that you see while you actually avail the free service. Likewise, Google's model is slightly more different. They charge from those enterprises who want to be searched. They don't charge people who come to search for information. Whoever goes to Google for searching for information, it is free. Whereas, if you want to be searched in Google space, then you have to pay Google a revenue. So that's the reverse business model with Google. Now, all these have been the starting points before some service providers came up with this idea of why not run organizations' IT on a public network like cloud. So that's how cloud got emanated and got the name. Name, of course, is by the fact that it's something available in the sky, in the air, nobody knows where it is available. But yes, like similar to cloud, rain comes from cloud from nowhere. Same way you get your IT needs of your enterprise from nowhere. So that's how the term cloud computing came in. Then came the difference between private cloud and public cloud. So while many enterprises were okay to run some of their non-critical applications on the cloud, on the public cloud, where they didn't care where the setup was or who was running it, where the data was stored, etc., etc. As long as their job is done, they were fine. But they were hesitant to put critical applications on the cloud for security reasons or for fear of unknown. They don't know where it is residing, who will have access, what will happen to the data, whether I'll get it whenever I want. So all these questions force people to look at private cloud model. So what is a private cloud? Private cloud is nothing but a service provider sets up an infrastructure along with this rest of the infrastructure, but it is dedicated only for a particular enterprise. So if an ABC company wants to run their applications on a dedicated private cloud, they go to a service provider, hire a space, hire all the infrastructure in terms of servers, storage, network, security, etc., information security, and then they put the application that they were running in their organization onto this dedicated setup or private cloud, and they were using it. So it had restricted access only to those employees who were configured or provisioned to access that private cloud. So this was a viable alternative to all those uncertainties that people had running their application on public cloud. But of late, things have changed because you have stringent certification norms, stringent security certification, operational certification norms, and global best practices which are being deployed by all these service providers. So they are able to provide secure, fast, reliable computing service or IT as a service on a public cloud as well. So a lot of organizations, especially in the SMB sector, who could not afford a huge data center with an army of people managing it day to day or keeping pace with the technological changes and version changes in the application, it was a boon for them to latch on to a service provider who could run that entire IT for them. All the enterprise had to take care was feed in their operational data, get that processed, get the output, and move on with it. So now under this background, now we come back to the survey that was done to find out what are the growth factors, why would organizations look at cloud. Cloud means it could be public or private, that is organization's prerogative, but here when we talk of cloud, it's unified. It could be private, it could be public. So why they looked at cloud? Faster delivery. How you get faster delivery? Because the service provider has already set up a huge infrastructure, it is ready, only it has to be provisioned for the enterprise, for the number of users, for the application that that particular enterprise wants to run. Rather than a regular inquiring for some quotations, then you validate the quotations, do the evaluation, and then place the PO, then the integrator supplies the material, installs, integrates, loads softwares, does a trial run, acceptance testing, and then goes live. So this entire process can take anywhere between 2 months to 6 months or even longer. Whereas in a cloud, it can probably happen in a matter of days because the infrastructure is already ready, live, up and running. Many of the standard applications are already preloaded, up and running. Only it has to be custom configured for an enterprise need and custom configure the users of that enterprise, their domain name, etc., etc. That is amongst the top. Lower implementation time, both are interconnected. Easier product maintenance, you don't have to maintain, pretty much the standard stuff is taken care by the cloud service provider itself. Lower total cost of ownership, so there is no upfront capex investment, that investment is done by the service provider already. You only have to pay for the usage that you do. So you sign up a contract with the service provider, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, depending on your need, and you have a staggered, fixed, steady cash flow every quarter for availing the usage. Increased customer satisfaction, accountability in case of error, increased customer base, all those are some of the smaller. So here you see some new terminologies. IT always has a lot of buzzwords and terminologies. You see SaaS here, I'm sure all of you are familiar, it's coming daily, day in, day out in the newspapers today. SaaS is software as a service. An essential component of cloud where any software is offered as a service. You don't own the software, you don't buy the license, you don't have that upfront software license cost, you only pay for the usage. So your license plus services are bundled together and you pay on the usage model. Some view on how the market, Indian market is expected to grow. I think it is the SaaS market. PaaS is platform as a service. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. So it's roughly 110 million, which is about 500 crore market in 2010. Expected to grow to close to 4,500 crores, assuming the dollar remains stable at 44, 45. It's expected to grow to about 4,500 to 5,000 crores in the next 4 years. Some of the impact to the common man and government. UID, you're seeing a lot of news in the last 2 years. Pied Piper of Technology, Mr. Nandan Nilekani is spearheading it. Largest citizen database in the world is looking at cloud very, very seriously. As of now, it's on their private setup. Probably they'll move to a private cloud, and the full potential will be harnessed only if UID is available on a public cloud, so that all enterprises, any agency wants to verify the identification of a particular individual can access the cloud, get that verified, and move on with the transaction. RTI, timely response to citizen requests for government information. Today, it is not on cloud. It is probably on a specific government portal. This is another application which can benefit a big way, and they're looking at cloud in a big way. IRCTC, you can say sort of it is already available on cloud, because for more than 7-8 years now, we have been booking rail tickets. Gone are the days where we used to stand in the queues for hours together to get a ticket, and more so maybe whole day during summers, etc. But today we can get it in a matter of seconds or max couple of minutes. All these are perfect game changers in our real life, day-to-day life using cloud. Some of the business pain points that a typical enterprise, more so for a small medium enterprise, are listed here. Ready labor pool, here in terms of labor force who could utilize or leverage the technology to conduct their business. That's what it means. Most of the units face challenges with regards to availability of business ready talent who can operate the technology to make their business happen. That's probably the biggest challenge faced by across the industry, more so in SMB, because an IT knowledgeable person probably doesn't perceive a great future joining a small or a medium enterprise and shaping up an IT related career in that company. So that's the biggest challenge. Operational efficiency is another. Since the economies of scale is limited for a small or medium enterprise, operational efficiencies suffer. Risk mitigation strategy. Most of the SMBs have small set of customers, so how do you mitigate? So IT usage is welcome. Using IT, you can reach out to greater customers, which in turn will help you mitigate strategies. Lack of technology know-how, again linked to the first challenge that we saw, availability of talent to run technology to make your business happen. Unclear return on investments. Probably you go to a consultant, he'll give you a rosy, beautiful picture, but practically the visibility is difficult to comprehend or difficult to visualize on, let's say if you have an upfront high capex investment, whether you get return on that capex IT investment. Investments made in legacy systems, again you don't know whatever IT infrastructure you are investing, how long it will last, when it will get obsolete, plus you already invested, how do you reuse it, how do you utilize what you invested already, whether you got ROA, etc. High cost of technical support, again since you are not able to get your own manpower to run it for you, you'll have to depend on external service providers, which doesn't come cheap, it comes costly. So some of the challenges which has prompted cloud service providers to focus on these and overcome those challenges by providing all these: reduced complexity, incorporate best practices, ensure elasticity or good scalability, make capital investment zero, that's how the usage model, and ensure some kind of return, or at least now you'll have a measured return on investment. Let's say pre-cloud scenario, if your business was X, after you moved on to cloud, you are able to improve your sales productivity, or improve your cash flow cycle productivity, or improve your production productivity, or improve your accounts receivable productivity. Overall, compute the total business productivity or business improvement, either in terms of growth or profitability or cash flow, can be tangibly measured before and after. Since there is no capex, no amortization, no obsolescence and write-off and things like that. It's like your fixed OPEX for usage. So this was carried out November 2009, when cloud computing is pretty much early stage in India. It is still, I would say, early, but at least the awareness is pretty high now. I think some of the applications where enterprises felt cloud can actually add value, the highest being in the CRM and sales management area, customer relation management and sales management, Salesforce management in the field. The prime reason being these people are always on mobile or on the field, and getting a secure access to their internal application has been a challenge. Now, if the application is available on a public network like cloud infrastructure, this has a fantastic value proposition. The second fantastic value proposition is in the area of payroll. Today, with a lot of employees, or payroll comprises of different types of categories of people. One is direct employees working in office, employees working in the field, employees working from customer locations, employees working from home, contract employees working from contractor's place, outsourced employees working on those outsourced premises. So you have mix and match of all these varieties. So it is very difficult to implement a single payroll system which is housed in-house in a captive center of an enterprise. So that's probably the second biggest value proposition as perceived by various users. In certain niche segments, people have seen application development, especially in IT, ITS, or large enterprise who have a requirement of developing a lot of new applications from time to time, or project management, especially in construction, real estate, or hospitality, hotel sectors, where they undertake a lot of projects, where people work in from all over the place, project offices, site offices, which are not really part of their own office, which are extended offices. So that's where the next set of good value proposition. Surprisingly, the procurement, HR has been on the lower priority. The top 3, 4, if you say, it's these. Payroll, CRM, sales management. ERP has not been explicitly specified, whereas it is broken up, I think, accounting, finance, sales, HR, payroll, all these are procurement. They're all part of ERP anyway. So, some 1 year back when we launched our cloud services, we carefully studied all these needs, of course, with close association with a lot of enterprises and customers for over 35 years. HCL is completing 35 years, incidentally, some 15 days from now, on 11th August to be precise. Plus feedback from various ecosystem or partners, consultants, and esteemed customers. We thought that it is the right time that we should be making this offering available to our customers, especially for some of these, to eliminate some of these pain points, and if not the core application where enterprise may have apprehensions, at least all the surround applications should be made available. So with that thought process and background, we started these cloud services. So first is we already had the ISP VPN network bandwidth services that we have been providing. So to manage that, we had a lot of points of presence, the NOCs and sort of mini data centers through which those bandwidth services were being offered. We upgraded them, some of them, to tier 3 data centers, and we housed the cloud infrastructure in a couple of those tier 3 plus data centers, and then loaded some of the standard applications, worked out with few popular independent software vendors, because we didn't want to go for the high cost SAPs and Oracles, which would not really provide value for money that the customers are looking for in this space. So we tied up with upcoming very good product, independent software vendors, and we have come out with a few set of offerings, which I'll take you through the next 2-3 slides. So we set up a comprehensive cloud services portfolio with all the leading product offerings. We didn't compromise on the infrastructure and technology, so we picked up the server, storage, network, and information security stack from best in class in the world, so from the Cisco's and EMC's and Intel's and HP's and etc. So that's how the infrastructure was built, but software we gave flexibility. We focused on the features, ease of use, quick deployment. Those are some of the parameters based on which we selected the application software and we ported them on our cloud. So today we have 3 layers of offerings in our cloud. One is the collaboration layer, where we have mail with a collaboration bundled with it. On the application layer we have HRMS, ERP and CRM. On the infrastructure we have infrastructure as a service. This will enable if some enterprise wants to run their own application but physically on a cloud infrastructure, so that they get the full benefit of high availability, high reliability, resilience, fully redundant power supply, redundant backup, etc., and data protection and scalability, elasticity in terms of IT infrastructure. They can use that, and a cloud-based backup solution. I will not spend much time here. This tells you what are the benefits of cloud mail over a free mail. Some people may ask, today mail is anyway free, given by various mail at least dozens of service providers globally who are able to provide same level of availability and uptime and provide a huge number of mailbox size. Gmail offers 5 GB mailbox per user and it is free. In fact, it is free for SMBs who have up to 10 users in the organization. For consumers anyway it is free. For educational institutions it is anyway free. And for SMBs up to 10 users it is free. It's only beyond 10 users Google charges. But still there is a value in somebody going for a mail in their own, with their own name, with flexible access, web, POP, etc., having control on the security by the enterprise themselves, rather than leaving the security only to the service provider, and maybe thinking of email archiving. All those facilities will be available on our email as a service over and above the free mail services that are available on the cloud. Those are the 3 value propositions that this offer, pretty much straightforward and hygiene factor. These are some of the deep dive features. We'll make those brochures available to you. I don't need to go through in detail. Some of these are pretty much hygiene, but many of these are really value added stuff for enterprises. So it has all those, the 2 categories, business and business plus. There's some workflow enablement which is there, like you can have some tasks, etc., configured, and logo rebranding, etc., can be done if you use the Enterprise Plus. Otherwise, the base business has all the basic mail services offerings. The next application that our customers wanted on cloud is HRMS. This is a comprehensive HR management package which helps in not only reducing cost, identify employees, shift and availability, plans for various types of compensation mechanisms, fixed variable, track the skill level of employees, and compliance taxation angle is taken care, and provides analytics support. Those are the 5-6 key pillars of the HRMS offering that we have. The deep dive, I will not go into the deep dive. It has the 3 flavors, basic, executive and professional. So somebody wants to have the basic flavor, entry level, low cost, value for money, to the full-fledged professional where you can just manage it one chief HR manager. Balance can be handled through this outsourced setup. Next is infrastructure as a service, the bottommost tier. Why on cloud? Pretty much simple. The features are scalability, flexibility, portability, high availability, and multiple options in terms of platform, Linux, Windows, etc. So this is definitely a boon if you are looking at deploying your own applications on a highly available and scalable infrastructure. So you take infrastructure as a service. So here when you subscribe, you will get a set of servers with some storage and some network access, along with a physical space, power and environment condition, with a 24/7 kind of a operational setup, with various tiered levels of SLAs for the service support. The next service is backup as a service. A lot of people face difficulty in taking backup. The database size, the enterprise content, the variety and the size is growing in multiple GBs per day. So taking multiple GBs backup per day, people spend hours together, maybe whole night is not enough to take backup. So backup on the cloud, which will transparently keep happening in the background, whereas enterprises continue to work in the foreground on their application. So that's the fantastic value proposition. Again, the two flavors, Tier 1 and Tier 2. We have already covered this, the need for ERP and CRM as a service on our cloud. This is just to give you a summary. Accessing from anywhere in the world, handling multi-currency, with a lot of Indian companies now trying to export, trying to deal transaction in multiple currencies, disparate systems providing inadequate reports, and inventory management not very comprehensive, with the complexities increasing. High cost, longer cycle time of implementation, security, confidentiality, after sales service. These are the next set of areas or pain points why need for cloud-based ERP CRM. Lean manufacturing, just-in-time material planning, payroll processing, manufacturing process control and production control. These are some of the 12 points that have driven us to look at ERP as a service, though the large enterprise are yet to get convinced that they should be putting their core ERP on the cloud. For small medium enterprise who doesn't have an ERP today and are not sure whether they should invest in an ERP with a high capex upfront, this is definitely a boon. So what is it that we offer as part of ERP CRM as a service? First is a legacy upgrade. Somebody running any version of the old, we can upgrade them to this ERP system that we have on the cloud. A two-tier ERP, companies that are implementing two-tier ERP strategy to support their business needs. The tiers could be for varying reasons, one for India, one for abroad, one for one type of product line, other for other type of product line, one for their captive premier customers, which gives them 50-60% of the business, other for the rest, so on and so forth. Those are the various modules that are pre-packaged, bundled. So when you take our ERP as a service, you get all of these. Sorry, these are the industries who can actually look at our ERP as a service on cloud, where they see a greater value proposition as compared to other industries. And these are the modules, core modules of ERP on our cloud. Pretty much all the standard that you can look forward to, right from sales cycle to inventory management to purchase, HR, receivables, payables, system management, general ledger, and online help. The best part of this ERP is it is user customizable, which means it has menus. The standard modules are already preloaded and pre-configured. You just have to drag and drop. So whoever is handling the process, that person knows what process he or she is handling. So they just have to create master first. So whether it's an item master or a customer master or a vendor master or whatever it is, and then create the various based on their business process flows, drag and drop, pick up the standard fields are already available. They just have to drag and drop, select their set of fields, create their own forms based on their organization process, create their own reports, create their own dashboards. Dashboards again are available at different function level, different hierarchical level of the organization, whether it's a CEO, CXO level or finance CFO level or the production unit level or the sales unit level or the field unit level, etc., etc. Likewise, the CRM module. So we have two options. You can take CRM as a standalone, ERP as a standalone, or you can take both together. The core engine is common for both, only the module-wise offering is done for the convenience and to pass on the commercial benefit to our customers. Again, pretty much both on the sales side and the service side, on the field force side, right up to order management, entire thing, and it directly plugs into the ERP. It also has connectors to other ERPs if you wish to go in only for the CRM, but retain the existing ERP of yours. That's the consolidated, summarized value proposition of ERP and CRM. Something very unique here, color-coded cells to track manufacturing process. This is something which you will not find in many of the standard ERPs. Manufacturing control center with shop floor video links. This is also something which is unique, not commonly available in others. Graphical Salesforce reports. Of course, it can be created, but not available as a standard in any other. Electronic in-basket. MD control center. It's a dashboard for MD level or a CEO level. These are some of the very nice to have features which a lot of people expect by default if they are deploying ERP, but find it very difficult to actually implement because challenges are manifold. Whereas with this, we have found this to be relatively easier to deploy this, and value proposition has been seen by our users. That's the last slide that I have. These are some of the customers who are using our cloud services. Taurus Mutual Fund is using backup and a DR as a service on our setup. Continental Engines is in manufacturing, automobile component manufacturer. Their entire application is running on a dedicated infrastructure as a service model along with mail. Born Hall is a clinic, it's in healthcare sector. There again, their application is running on our cloud infrastructure as well as mailing solution. LIC Housing Finance and financial sector. This is for their field force mailing solution is more in this. All these are happily running for the last between 3 to 8 months since December or January. 3 to 6 months they've been running, and I'm sure our pipeline is pretty healthy. A lot of prospective customers are talking to us, and nice to see that many of the medium and even enterprise level customers are talking of putting their core application on cloud, contrary to the popular perception that enterprises do not want to put their core application on cloud. I think some confidence has come in that yes, this is the way to go. We are seeing increased traction to put for enterprises, especially in the small medium category, to put their core application on the cloud.